Hello everybody, so today we're going to be going over NTFS permissions, which is a very common thing in the IT world. If you're in a Windows environment, I'm sure you have permissions set on folders somewhere or another that either help desk has to resolve, sysadmin, maybe someone along the lines that probably has to basically investigate things, set up folders, create new folders and things like that. So I'm going to just show you some of the basics to NTFS permissions, or I guess folder permissions if you want to say. So we have a domain controller right here that we're hosting. I guess you should, there's a couple different ways you can set up a file server. You can do like an SMB share. You can just host up a server and advanced share it. We're kind of just going to basically, we're not going to do an SMB share or anything like that. So we have our domain controller right here. And then if we open up our file explorer, go to this PC, local disk, I basically created a folder named shares. And when I click into here, there's nothing in here. When I right click that, properties, I go to sharing. I reshared it out, DC6, which is our host name of this server. And I go to advanced sharing. As you can see here, we're going to share the folder. The share name is going to be sysadmin. It's not going to be, so when you do //DC6 /, it's not going to show up as shares. The folder name is going to show up as sysadmin. Limit the number of connections you want for users. I think this is the default that it was set to. I didn't change that, I don't think. And then you click on permissions. I added domain admins as full control and domain users as read only. So once we click OK on that, click close on that. In our domain controller, we're going to go to DC6 /, and you can see we have our sysadmin folder right here. And that is basically just coming from the shares folder, but remember, what we did was we made the shareable name sysadmin. Close out of that. Properties. And as you can see right here, this is our security on it. So we have domain users as read-only access, and we have our administrators as full control, which is fine, no big deal. Back to here, shares, security, domain users, read-only, administrators, full control. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep that open. We're going to open up Active Directory. And for this lab, we're going to use an account named Jake Williams. As you can see, he's a member of only domain users right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 new security groups. Actually 3. Let's create 3. So we right click new group, universal. Group name, we're going to do HR. Actually, no, we'll do HR. So we'll click OK on that. So we have our HR security group, and we're going to add Jake Williams into it. Check names, OK, apply. Create another security group, and we're going to name that marketing. OK. We're not going to add James Williams to this one. Jake Williams. New group. And we're going to name this, I don't know. Trying to think here, help desk. Okay. And we are going to add Jake to this one. So we have HR, help desk, and marketing. So if we're back on the server itself, click into the sysadmin folder. We have no folders in here. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder. and we're going to name it HR. So we have HR, and you're probably wondering, well, why does it have domain users read-only and administrators full control? Well, here's why. When we click on Advanced down here, as you can see, there's an option that says Disable Inheritance. And you're probably wondering, well, what the heck does that mean? Basically what that does is, if this says Disable Inheritance, it goes back to the previous folder. So in this case, we're going back to the sysadmin folder, and it's going to grab those permissions. So whatever is applied on the sysadmin folder is going to be directly applied to this folder, HR. Now, we can remove these. We have to disable inheritance first. We're going to keep these permissions. And we're going to add selected principal security HR. Boom. And we're going to give them modify access. You can add a condition. There's so many different things you can do in here. But with standard modify access, this is basically what you can do here. So delete subfolders and files. That gets kind of tricky because I'll show you all why in a couple minutes. But basically, full control, the difference between full control and not full control is really ownership and permissions. So usually people just do modify access, and then you can do applies to this folder, subfolders, this folder, subfolders, and files. It's a lot of different things. And one of the reasons why this gets tricky is because you assign permissions for modify someone comes and tells you, well, this user was able to delete a file out of here. And one of the main reasons is because you applied it to this folder, subfolders, and files, which is kind of why. And you have the delete option selected. It's kind of a lot of playing around in here just to see what does what. But really the main difference between modify and full control is really ownership, to be honest. So we click OK on that. Oh, we want to remove this. We don't want any conditions. Click OK. So now Brad is our domain name, brad.local. Brad is a NetBIOS name. Administrators, domain users, and HR. Click Apply. Click OK. And now if we go back to sysadmin folder, as you can see here, this does not have the HR security group. Once we go into here, right-click HR, Properties. Now we have the HR security group. Now if we go into HR, and we create another folder, and we're going to name it, what should we name it? Job Descriptions. When we right-click this, Properties, Security, Advanced, now we have HR, domain users, and administrators. If we basically disable inheritance and just say we remove HR and we hit apply, that means it's not going to grab the HR security group. So what we can do from here is and you're all probably wondering, well, what does this do? Replace all child object permission entries with inheritable permissions from this object. So what we can do is we can remove HR. We're first got to disable inheritance. And actually, while inheritance is being enabled, if you add a security group in here, it's not going to go and put it to the HR folder. It's only going to stay in here and then subfolders, depending how you set it up. So we disable inheritance from here, and we take away HR, and we hit apply. We hit OK. We hit OK. Refresh this. Right click, Properties. HR folder's gone. So now domain users has read-only access. If that's what you want your company to have, cool. If not, not good. This is just for labbing purposes. Click on HR, Properties, Security, Advanced. You see we have that HR folder and the HR security group. Now, the HR security group is not applied on job description, but what's going to happen is once we click on Security, Advanced, we replace all child object permissions entries with inheritable permissions. Once you click Apply and you click Yes, that's going to go through every subfolder, and no matter if it's enabling inheritance or not, No matter if you added permissions or not, it's going to reset all the permissions and give them these permissions right here. So once we replace this, we click apply, we click yes. It's going to go through. If you have a bunch, it's going to show you like a little rectangle saying applying security permissions, da 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 da. Once you click OK, if we go into the HR folder, job descriptions, properties, security, there you go. The HR security folder is back. Now, just say if someone made a mistake and you never even knew about it, and you're just searching through here one day, you're like, that should not be like that. We're going to add the marketing group. We're going to give them full control. So we know we do not want marketing inside of here. It did not inherit it from any folder. We manually added it to this. Click apply, OK. We go back to the HR folder, properties, security, and we're going to replace all the child object permissions again. Apply, and we click yes. OK, OK. Now we go back to job descriptions. See how that marketing has disappeared now because it completely wiped it all out and it basically applied the permissions based off what was set on HR. So you have to be very careful with this. Very, 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 very careful. Now, effective access is a cool little thing you can do when you're troubleshooting stuff. You have to make sure you have access to it though. And I think there's a port that goes along with it that has to be running. It starts with like 3.3, I believe, or something. I think it's like an RPC port, I believe. Let's search that up real quick. I think it's an RPC port, if I'm not mistaken. RPC port. Yeah, remote procedure call. I think there's a few different port numbers for this. Yeah. So I mean, there's a few different port numbers for this. Port number 33. Does that bring up anything? 3389, I think it is. No, that's the. Yeah, that's RDP. No, that's not it. Yeah, that's RDP. I was like, wait, that's. But yeah, RPC. I think it started with like 3 from what I saw before. But let's go back. So let's go to, this is our Windows 10 machine that's on the domain. Click out of this, go to the File Explorer. You see 6, and you see sysadmin, HR, and then job descriptions, which we can all get into because Jake is a part of the HR folder. Now, new folder. Actually, no, we're going to go into job descriptions and we're going to make something called, see, you do not have options to perform this. Go back to here, properties, security. Effective access, we're going to search up Jake. So he only has permissions to read stuff. Did we add Jake into? You know what? We probably have to restart it. Yeah, so he definitely should have. So yeah, we're gonna have to restart. With file permissions, when you add people, and the remote computer is on, you usually have to restart it. So what we're gonna do is, so just so we're not lost or anything, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get Jake access to job descriptions to be able to make folders. And all we have to do is restart the PC, I'm like 99% sure. So let's just do a restart real quick. Restart. As you see here, this is my lab environment. This is just a different little subject. I have a pretty, not powerful, but kind of good server at home. Pretty good on storage and RAM and stuff. That's my server, Windows 10. So yeah, that's coming back online now. If we click on this, we can actually see Come on, computer. Okay, so now if we go back here, we go to RDP. Should be able to remote in now. Yep, so now we're remoting back in. And we definitely set Jake to have modify access. But as you see here, you're probably wondering, well, why can't he modify in here? Well, here's a trick. Shares, properties, security, sharing, advanced sharing, permissions. Domain users, we're going to put the full control. This is back to the event sharing again. Apply, okay, apply, okay, okay. Now if we go back to DC6, sysadmin, HR, job descriptions, you can see here, HR, full control. Modify access, advanced, effective access. Now he has your write permissions. So I was telling you all you needed to restart it, but in reality, no, you did not. You might have had to still, because with permissions, you still have to restart, but I was trying to trick you all. Maybe you were thinking, well, what is he doing? So basically what happens is with this, with the advanced sharing, as we just saw here, we had Jake as modify access, but when we searched it up, it didn't show you had modify access. So when you went into advanced sharing, you go to permissions. If your NTFS, this is your like advanced sharing permissions, what I was showing you all before with the effective access is like your NTFS permissions. This basic, how should I say this? Since we saw the NTFS permissions were set to modify, this had read-only, this is basically going to say, hey, no, we're going to do the read-only. But since domain users now has full control, that doesn't mean they have full control too. So if we go back to here, right-click sysadmin, properties, sharing, security. Domain user still has read-only access, and then we have full control. So now, once we go back to here, we might even have to do another restart, because with permissions, like I said, you usually have to restart. Inside of job description, if we go and create a new folder, now we're able to. We did it. See? So that's where I was trying to trick you all, see if y'all think I was messing up, or, I mess up all the time sometimes. But there you go. And by messing up all the time, I mean in my home lab. Got to be very cautious with what you're doing at work, because one click can bring the whole company down, and you don't want that. So be very cautious and at work in a real-world environment. Lab environment, you're at home, you can't be affecting your work environment. Feel free to mess anything up that you want to. Do not do it in a work environment. So, delete this. Okay, so that's deleted. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to here, sysadmin, HR, job descriptions, properties. So how do I want to show you all this? Well, first, let me say, so as you can see, we saw in the sysadmin folder, we have domain users as read and execute, and we have administrators full control. Think of every folder you go into, there is a bouncer at the door, which is what people have told me before. So think of every folder you go into, you got to have a ticket to get in. Whether whether there's 10 doors in the same building or you're going to 10 different buildings. Pretend you're walking into a building with 10 different doors in front of you. Every door you hit, there's a bouncer asking you for the ticket to get in. So when we right click HR, properties, we can see Jake should be able to get into that and start modifying. Let's check job descriptions. When he gets into that, he should be able to start modifying things. But inside of here, what we're going to do is we're going to properties, security, and we're going to take away domain users. We're going to disable inheritance first, take away domain users, and take away HR. Go back to AD. Jake is not in the administrators group at all. Apply, OK. So now we go to job descriptions. We see we can't even view the permissions now on this because we don't have access. See, now we don't have access to it. Can't even get into it. That's another thing with NTFS. If you don't have access to the folder, you most likely cannot see the permissions on it. Minimize this. Job descriptions, OK, security, boom. Administrators full control. We're going to create a new folder in here. You're probably wondering, well, why are we naming it marketing? I don't know. This is just for labbing purposes. Right click, properties, security. See how we enabled the inheritance? So with this enabled, it's just going to go back to the job descriptions folder and grab the permissions from it. You can see even it says inherited from this job descriptions folder right here. We're going to add marketing. We're going to do modify access again. Apply. OK. So what's about to get funny is job descriptions, properties, security, advanced. We're going to view the effective access. Jake. As you can see here, all access, no access whatsoever. But now if we go to marketing, advanced, effective access, and you're going to see he does not have access to here either. And here's why. He's not in the marketing security group. So we're going to add him to marketing. We might not even need this help desk one. Marketing, right? We're going to refresh first. Marketing, properties, effective access. He still does not have access. Well, you're wondering, well, why is that? Probably because of permission taken into effect and things like that. We go to marketing. Jake is 100% in that. So what we're going to do is we're going to minimize this and we're going to restart. We're going to restart that, wait for that to go into effect, and we're going to check this one more time. Now he has a modify access that he needs. So we'll wait for that computer to restart. It's coming back up now. Wow, 20 minutes on this video already. Okay, go back to here. And we're getting RDP'd back in now, yay. Okay, so here comes your probably questioning part. Well, how the heck is he going to get him access? Well, I'm going to show you. So we do DC6. We can get into the sysadmin folder. We can get into HR, but we can't get into job descriptions. So what you have to do is / type out job descriptions, and then, oops, spelled it wrong. And then we named it what? Marketing. And wow, we're in. So we bypassed the folder we did not have access to, and now we're inside the marketing folder. And if you go back to here, see, we can't even get back to job description. So you really can't even view the permissions on the marketing folder. But we have modify access, right? So let's go and we can create a test folder. And we should be able to view permissions on the test folder too. Yep. So what's happening is it's grabbing the access from marketing and pulling it to test. So what we can do is we're going to add help desk here. Don't know if it's going to allow us because we only have modify control. It shouldn't allow us. Yep. So it did allow us. Okay. And that's another thing. You have to be kind of leery about what you do with allowing people to do things. So we should not be able to basically remove permissions from here. It did allow us to remove permissions. Because we're the owner of the folder, that's why. See, I even see how fast I just went through that? It's because we're the owner of the folder. We change the owner to admin. Actually, before we do that, now we're about to lock ourselves out. Let's go back here and let's add marketing. And we're going to add help desk. Now we're going to change the owner to domain admins. Actually, you know what? We're going to do administrators. No, we don't want to do that. Apply. See, access is denied. We can't set new owner on test. But now, if we cancel out of all this, go back. Change. Then we go back to here. And we're going to, let's see if it updated first. It should have. So administrators, okay, so we remove marketing. See, now it says access is denied because we don't have control to do it. So it still removed it from here because of the permissions on the other one. Okay. See, we still can't even do that. Go back to here. See, as now we have help desk, marketing, administrator still, so everything is still here. Go back to here. and everything is still there. Nothing was been removed. So and I'm going to just verify that again with you all. We're going to try to remove help desk from here. Access denied. Cancel, cancel. We just try to remove help desk, and it's still there. Access is denied because we're not the owner anymore, and we only have modify access. So now let's just take a scenario here. I'm gonna back out of here. So you're in here one day investigating, and you're like, why is there an HR folder inside of marketing? And why does marketing have access to a folder inside of HR, even though there's a marketing folder? What we can do is, as we said earlier in the video, we only want HR to have access to the HR. Replace, apply, boom, yes. All permissions were changed on this, and all permissions were changed on this. And this test folder is what we had the marketing and help desk on. Permissions change on that. So you have to be very careful, again, very, very careful with what you do. Always take a second look at what you do. So I think that's going to conclude the video. I don't think there's definitely other stuff that can be talked about. This was just the basics of things. So I hope you all enjoyed. I will probably create another video with I made a script and things where you can create folders and stuff, which is very neat. We can set up group policy stuff with these security groups and things like that with these folders. There's a bunch of different things you can do. So I hope you all enjoyed. If there's any questions or concerns about what I just did in here, I know sometimes when I know what I'm doing, or when I think I know what I'm doing, I kind of, in my lab environment, I go kind of quick with things, but then I mess up in my lab environment, I got to redo it or something. So if there's any questions or concerns, just like and comment, or just comment on the video. Other than that, please like, subscribe, tell me how you liked the video, and we'll be back for the next video. Thank you.